All right. I want to talk about the one mistake most independent consultants and freelancers make that keeps them, that keeps them, not that keeps them struggling financially and how to stop it. So this is the first video in my solo consultant success series, and the idea behind this is to help individual consultants and freelancers avoid some of the mistakes that I have made over the last 12 years, and I've made many of them. And I'm going to be sharing these mistakes because, if you can learn from somebody else's mistakes, then you grow exponentially, and you avoid those mistakes, and you're able to build your own consulting business by leaps and bounds, far beyond what I was able to accomplish. So that's why I'm doing this. At the end of this, let's say I'm going to invite you to have a conversation with me or to reach out to me. That's because I'm going to make you an offer, and I want to be transparent about it. I'm going to make you an offer to provide some support to you if you're an independent consultant or freelancer and you want to take things to the next level. I'm launching what I'm calling a 50K challenge, and I'll talk more about it. But I want to let you know now that at the end of this session, I will extend an invitation to you to join me in the 50K challenge. And again, that's if you feel like, if you're led to, if you feel that it'll serve you, then you can join me. If not, that's fine. But I'm going to give you the very best practical information that I can give you here in these short sessions. So in this video, I want to talk about the one mistake we make that keep us struggling. And when I say struggling, what I mean is, that feast of famine circle. When I first started in the consulting business, one of the first things I was doing, besides sales, so my original freelancing sojourn began in 2004 as an independent sales contractor, back when I was in the US. But I don't usually factor that because I later on went back into corporate. But since leaving corporate officially in 2010, it's been 12 years now, and that's when I officially began my consulting business. And it's been oftentimes a feast or farming, and I have spent a lot of time in trying to investigate and working with coaches to understand. I mean, actually, quite literally, did I really pay attention to understanding what was happening? And it came down to one thing. And as I've talked to other consultants and those who have gone beyond that, or those who are still struggling, I found that there's one key factor, one key mistake that I made that others make that keep them struggling financially. And that piece of farming, so there's this month that you do a 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000 or even a $60,000 month, and then there's nothing else for another 3, 4, 5, or 6 months. Mind you, expenses are being made, and if you don't have the right financial discipline, and you have that windfall, you tend to blow it all up in the first 2, 3 months, expecting that you always have that windfall, and then it doesn't come, and then you begin to struggle. So we want to avoid that because it's not a great place to be in. It has cost me a lot of mental anguish. It has, and I'm sure it has for you. You wake up in the morning, you're not sure, business is whatever, for whatever reason, business is slow, and you don't know where to begin, or you've sent out proposals, you've had conversations, people are promising to get back to you, and they're not getting back to you. And it's not cool. It's not cool at all. So what is that mistake? And what can you do about it? Well, the mistake that I made, the mistake that you may be making right now, is not having a recurring stream of income, a means of income, whether it's exact or an average, but a recurring stream of income. That is the mistake. That's the mistake that I made. That's the mistake that a lot of other people make. And that's the mistake that if you can avoid, you will not find yourself in this place. So let's say, for argument's sake, that you need a base that is to cover your food, your rent or mortgage, transportation, your very basic needs, your very basic expenses are $3,000 a month. What you want to do as an independent consultant is to make sure that come hell or high water, you have that 3,000, or maybe to account for inflation and everything. I'd say 4,000 a month in monthly recurring income. Now, I know your goal in your business is not to be earning $4,000 a month. You probably, at the very least, you want to hit the 10K, and then maybe 15, 20, 30K. But you want to make sure that your basic expenses, that make sure that your family is always fed and that kids will go to school and that you will have, funds for emergency medical care or whatever the case is, that basic needs, your tithing, your giving at the very minimal, you want to make sure that they're covered every month. If you don't do that, then you end up in a really tough financial space. I want that to sink in. You don't want to find yourself in the places that I have been. And I mean, when you've gotten some large, like I remember one of my biggest projects was $128,000 windfall, and hey, life was great, right? And it went for a few months. I didn't feel anything, we were spending money, things happening, but nothing else was coming in. I wasn't feeling it until I was down to the last 10K. And then I began to get, anxious. And in the anxiety, I began to even repel for the projects. So it's important that you have a consistent stream of income that covers your basic needs. Now, there are a number of ways you can do that, depending on where you are, in terms of location, depending on your economy, market size. There are a number of factors, but I'm going to share a few of them with you. Now, in my own case, what I should have done, now I don't need, I live in Liberia. My family is a family of 3. It's me, my wife, my daughter, and we have an au pair who helps us with our daughter, who's also family, so we're 4. And the 4 of us, we don't need more than $2,000 a month as a basic. Now, mind you, that's even on the high end for our country where we live, for the standards of living here. But realistically, we don't need more than $2,000 a month to live basic and still be comfortable. But I forgot to make that happen. And the way for me to have ensured that that was happening locally, not let's assuming that I wasn't comfortable doing stuff online and everything, and maybe because you may not be comfortable, offering services or products online, which I'll talk about. But the very old school way that still works is to ensure 2 things. 1, find a job that leverages your consultant skill sets and doesn't stress you out. So, when we first become independent entrepreneurs or independent professionals, self-employed, I don't know if it's ego or something else, but there's something that comes upon us that makes us feel like we're better than those who are working the job. I know I experienced that, and maybe you may be experienced. I felt bigger than the people who had to go to work every morning. But there's something fundamental about that. An established business is an established entity you can still provide service for while building your consultant practice, while looking for the next means of acquiring consistent income. So if you're just starting out or you've been around for a while, but you have nothing else, get back into the workforce. Get back into the workforce. Now, it may be a commission-based job or it may be a full-time job. Either way is important. If it's a commission-based job and you know you're good at selling and but get aligned with a place where you can get some income that doesn't depend on your consultant skill sets. Well, it depends on your consultant skill sets, but it's not part of your consultant business per se. I hope I'm making sense here. So getting a job will free you from the stress of providing income. And then you build your practice on evenings and on the weekends. Obviously, you don't want to be using company time to build your business, but you have free time in the evenings. You have free time on the weekends. So getting a job, I remember my friend, a very close friend, giving me this piece of advice. And I'm like, what the hell? You don't know what you're talking about. The truth is, I wish I had listened then. So you want to do that for yourself. If nothing else, get a job. The job provides you the cushion, it takes care of your immediate needs, and it gives you the freedom to think clearly. And with that, you can move on to your next opportunity or the next means of recurring income. And that is to package your knowledge. Because this is the real place that your money is going to come from. This can actually even be more eventually than your active consulting. This is where you begin to build what's called passive income. You do the work now, and 5-10 years from now, you can still benefit from it. So you package your knowledge. Now you have $2,000-3,000 consistently coming from a job. You are able to get to actually spend time writing a book or 2 or 3. You can now create a course that's an automated course, so it's not live that you have to be there. You can engage in blogging / affiliate marketing. Now you have to plan yourself properly and do these alongside getting clients. That part that's involved with active client acquisition is it's not so much time consuming if you do the right things. So you can actually plan yourself on the weekends and say, okay, you know what? You're not going to be doing all of these at once. So maybe you decide that I'm going to write a book, or you can use your book to bring active clients. But the sales from that book also bring in passive income. All right. The sales from that book can lead to your course, or to your blog, and your blog to your course, and you can wrap them around. And all of these will serve 2 purposes. One, to bring you immediate income if you sell your book $10, $15, $20. I've got 2 books that sell online for 13. I don't even know what they sell online for. And I sell them physically here in Liberia for about $20. All right. So you can have a number of books, and each of those books can lead people back to your website, back to you, to engage in more active consulting. But when you're doing these things out of desperation, out of a place where you're absolutely jammed and you need cash, you tend to make mistakes. You tend to send on the wrong vibes and all of those things. So you don't want to be in that place. The place you want to be in is a place of positive attitude, and you're in a better relationship with money. So ensure that you have a source of income, consistent income that covers your basic needs while you're building your dream practice. And if you get a consultant job That's great. Just make sure you're not using the time, like I said, because it's not fair, it's not ethical to use the company who hires you to use their time to do your business. And once you've done that, you can move on to the next stages, packaging your knowledge through a book, through an online course, through affiliate marketing. Now, if you're not familiar with what affiliate marketing is, it's basically where you publish content, maybe like this video, and I link this video to something that somebody else has for sale, and I make a commission on it. Now, that's not the case with this particular video because what I have for sale is my own product or my own service. But the affiliate marketing, you could sell other people's courses, you can sell other people's books, you could sell software, um, clothing line, anything that may be related to the service that you provide. And you can get monthly commissions on that. I hope this helps as you build your practice and you are able to build it well by taking the right actions. Now, if this makes sense to you and you're at a place where maybe you have a job, maybe you don't have a job, but you want to create some clients in your consulting business, I'm coming up with a program in July where I'll be working with a select few. I'm not sure what the numbers are yet. Could be 30 or 20 or a little bit more. And what we're going to be doing together is to create at least $50,000 in your business. Now, I'm not saying $50,000 a month. I'm not saying $50,000 a year. All we're trying to do is to create the first $50,000 within 12 weeks. And we're going to do that by applying some hardcore principles. Principles I'm going to teach in the next video. I'll teach them and you can go on and apply them yourself if you can. But if you're wise, then you want to join me for the support and join others, and we can share and prop each other up to make that happen. I'm calling it the 50K challenge. Why am I even calling it a challenge? Usually challenges last for a very short period of time. But this is a 12-week mastermind. It's a 50K mastermind. Yeah, I think 50K. The 50K consultant mastermind. You see, I'm even creating the name here. It tells you that you don't have to be perfect. Sometimes we'll wait to be perfect before we put things out into the world. The 50K consultant mastermind is simply a mastermind bringing together independent professionals, independent consultants and freelancers who want to make their next 50K. Now, this is not just online. This is 50K in your business. So we will use online strategies. We're going to use offline strategies. I'm going to be teaching you exactly the things that I've used here in Liberia, in the third world country, to create a minimum of 50K every year in my business. Now, if I can do it here in this part of the world every year, you know, with a very small economy, then you can do a lot more in larger economies, even in Africa, but beyond Africa. And so I want to invite you to consider joining me. It's a small investment of $597. $597 you're going to be investing in yourself. Yeah, I could offer it free, but how many people really value free things, right? I'm running a program right now that's free. Well, it's free for the participants. Other people contributed to it. And some people were excited in the beginning and they're not showing that excitement anymore because they're not invested. There's no commitment from their part. So $597 is what you invest to work with me to create a minimum of $50,000 in your business. And if you've done it before, then let's do it again. And if you're not yet create $50,000 in a short period of time, then let's do it. There are multiple ways you can create 50K, and I'll talk about them in the next video. Until then, my name is Dan Maxwell Jr. I'm an independent consultant and executive coach based in Monrovia, Liberia. You can find me on danmaxwelljr.com. And if you have already decided that you want to be part of the 50K Consultant Mastermind, then I want you to send me a message. Go to my website, danmaxwelljr.com. You'll see how to contact me, and send me a message. And we will pick things up from there. Sending you some love this morning from Monrovia, Liberia. Cheers.